I would say that most of the time I see bigger differences between 6 months and 12 months in maturity than I do 1 year and 2 year. Jeff.
Jeff Davis. I came this first workshop with the wife and kids, and they are definitely, because they're not here, I can say it, they're part of the problem.
Sure.
So I'm hoping to get a little bit.
Don't worry, we're filming it. They'll see.
Edit that out. Da Vinci's 2 years old. He's still intact, which has been a problem for me because he likes to mark everything, and it's a big distraction. And we talked through email, and it's funny because I just happened to try to get directions, reread that email, and I went, oh my gosh. And I think that's why I'm glad I signed up again, because I read it, but it didn't click. And then when I read it yesterday, it clicked. I'm like, oh, like it just for some reason. So I'm excited to overcome that instinct to try to mark his territory.
Sure.
But definitely using this as another foundation class.
Yeah.
He got his first shed find on his birthday last month, which was, we go out in the woods and he's great. He goes 30, 40 yards and he's always checking back in with me. But the second we're on lead or whatever, or if we do a retrieve, it's like, okay, I started off doing it, like you said, start off short distance. Yeah, we got to 5 feet and he was great. 10 feet, the first 10-foot bumper I throw, picks it up, he looks at me, marks the bush next to him, and then decides, you know what, I'm going to run around a little bit more. And it's like, not quite ready for that. Take a step back. Let's get back into the heel. Let's get back to the recall.
Sure. So. Sure. And he's 2.
He's 2. So he's got that puppy brain. And
Yeah. Some of this stuff, especially those who were at workshops, Hank would have been 1 at the workshop 3 years ago. Now he's 4. There's going to be a completely different dog. Like, there's a big difference in, we were talking to some people last night about it. We did a training consultation on the way here. We pulled over and did it at a McDonald's parking lot. But we talked about the difference in maturity levels between a 6-month-old dog and a year, which is only 6 months difference. Like the time frame is 6 months. There's a humongous difference typically in the personality and the maturity level, which makes a big difference on training, comprehension, and the ability to understand and want to work and all that stuff. So that's only 6 months time. And then you go from a year to 2 years. There's a big difference usually between 1 year and 2 years old. Now, by time standpoints, that's double. There's twice as much time there than there was between 6 months and 12 months. But I would say that most of the time I see bigger differences between 6 months and 12 months in maturity than I do 1 year and 2 year. So even though it's half the time, I think it's more change maturity-wise. Some dogs that can shift from 12 to 18 months, and then from 18 to 30 months. Slide the scale wherever you want. At some point, your dog makes significant changes in how they grow up, and you're under 2. Like you're on the left side of 2. You're just hit 2. So, hell, I've had clients' dogs that one of my biggest frustrations with the dog was that his dog is just such a puppy all the time. Like I'd get past this. Jet was one that I trained that I'd get so frustrated in how immature he was. And he was a big male. He looked like a dog. Da Vinci, he looks like a dog, and I'm like, act like a dog, quit acting like a puppy. And then all of a sudden I'd see oh, we're getting there, and I'd start really feeling like that ship has sailed, that puppiness, that childish behavior is gone. So let's keep going. And then all of a sudden, puppy, and then frustration, and then and there absolutely is nothing I could do about it. It's just the way the dog developed. Bella had those moments. Bella was a puppy way more often than I wish. because she was really sharp and really smart and really talented, but she went back to puppy probably like 6 or 7 times. Where normally, prior to her, I was like, well, we'll go through the puppy phase, and once it clicks, we're just off and running, because that's the way it always worked for me. It didn't with her. And I know because we're past it now with her, but I also wasn't that worried about it with her. Where in the past, if it was 10 years before that, I'd have been real worried and real nervous and real upset and bothered by it. But like I've trained enough of them now that I go, I don't know. This one might be a little bit slower to get old. This one might grow up real quick. So you don't control that. And so why do some people get worked up about it and stressed out about it? You can only control the stuff you can control. That's what you should focus on. So like, just pretend you got a big puppy. And if that dog were younger and doing what it was doing, you'd be happy. Same behaviors, it's just your perspective on it, and it changes. So yours is 4. How old is your Hank?
A couple of months short of 2.
Okay, so just less than 2. Crow is year and a half. Like that blows my mind.
Why's that?
She's mature.
You haven't seen her off leash with the rest of the dogs.
Well, I saw her last year though, and I don't know if I remarked on it or not. I don't know if I commented on it then or not. I guess I'm trying to think back on it, but I would have guessed 3 based on what I saw out there. I thought, boy, handled some serious temptation here and pressure, and responded really well to what you were asking of her, and like I saw all that. And so I look at that, and that's part maturity. Like puppies can't do that. I don't think they think that way. So that's a really good example. Like year and a half. How many guys here right now that have dogs that are older than Crow are saying, boy, I'd be pretty satisfied with that level of focus out there, you know? Yeah. And this isn't to shame anybody, and this isn't to like blow smoke up your ass either. Like I just call it like I see it, and I go, but after last year's workshop, there was a conversation amongst us. We all talk about what we went through the last couple of days, and one of the things that was said was, boy, Crow's going to be a really nice dog. We could see that. I think we talked about that I think I did. I think I remember, I don't know if you guys had a one-on-one talk about it, but so that to me is something that, you know, does that mean Da Vinci's not going to be there at 2.5? It might have just taken an extra year. Just like Jet turned out really nice. The dog I trained, he turned out really nice. Just took longer. But I also look at it and I go, none of you guys are under a time crunch where you have to get that dog ready for anything in particular. You're not sending it home to a client to keep them happy, none of that stuff. So enjoying this progression makes the difference.